happening, guys? It's Bazan Akbal from iGyan.in, and today we're going to be reviewing the new HTC Explorer. This is a budget phone from HTC priced at just about 10,000 rupees in the Indian market, or about $200 in the US market. The rupee has gone really down versus the dollar, so the price of this phone is actually cheaper in dollars now, but the dollar is expensive. So considering that, this device is an entry-level device in terms of Android, on the Android platform for HTC. We had an exclusive hands-on at launch and a demo from Darren Singh from HTC at the launch event. You can check out iGyan TV for that video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing, telling you how I found this device out to be and how it performs in terms of a device for the price of 10,000 rupees. So let's get into the full review. As soon as you start to look at the device, the HTC Explorer, also known as the HTC Pico, this device is extremely well built. When I talk about build quality, you see this interestingly strong and rigid looking construction, which has a rubber back. The device has a full rubber back cover. This back cover is, you need to twist the device to remove the back cover, but once you remove the back cover, you'll see that it's a single plastic mold which has a rubber type feel on the back side. It also has this metal plate in the center, giving this device an extremely solid look. If you see on the inside, the device also has this unibody shell kind of construction where everything is housed behind this plastic shell, and of course you have the battery compartment, but apart from that, everything is housed behind that and behind the LCD. So once you put this cover on, the construction is complete. It's very rigid, very solid, no rattling, no shaking whatsoever. A traditional HTC design, if you ask us. They have been following good construction with their devices, and this follows along the line of the new HTC Sensation, which was recently launched. So the back cover is like that, and the overall look of the device is also like a mini version of the HTC Sensation. I'm sure you can already see the number of fingerprints on the screen, and that's because the screen is highly glossy and fingerprint friendly. One thing we don't like, however, is the fact that the back cover could have been raised a little bit to prevent the LCD from scratching if you place the phone down. Currently, that's not the case. If you put your phone down on a rough surface, you will be seeing a lot of scratches on the screen. Although there is a slight raise from the bezel over here, but we don't feel that's enough to prevent scratches on the device, as we've faced some of them already. Talking about the specifications of the device weighs 108 grams in weight, and on the front you'll see a 3.2-inch capacitive LCD display. This has a resolution of 320 into 480 pixels, a total of 180 ppi. So of course, you also have HTC Sense on this, running over Android 2.3.5, and you have touch capacitive buttons at the bottom here. Your sensors, ambient light sensor and proximity sensor, is just next to the HTC logo, which is under the earpiece, which is over here. On the right hand side of the device, you will see volume rockers. These are very tactile and nice volume buttons, and you will not face any problems with these. On the top here is the power button, again identical to the volume rockers. This is pretty tactile. On the top over here is the tapered 3.5mm headphone jack. You may have some issues, or some earphones may not work properly with this because of the design of the inlet hole, because it's tapered, so your headphone jack may not plug in all the way in some earphones, but most of them seem to work properly without any issues. You also have the micro USB connector over here. The device has a 3.15 megapixel camera at the back, and the loudspeakers over here. On the inside of the device, you have a very tiny 600 MHz Snapdragon CPU, which also has the Adreno 200 GPU. The chipset is a Qualcomm MSM 7227, so it's a SoC. You get your Adreno graphics and the Snapdragon processor. You can also record video with the camera at 480 pixels, so no H. When you talk about storage, you get 90 MB of inbuilt storage, 512 MB of RAM and 512 MB of ROM, so pretty decent when you talk about that. The only thing that bothers us is the speed of the processor, and that's only 600 MHz. So from the moment you turn on the device, you will see the Sense UI. This is identical to the HTC Sense UI that you've been seeing in the latest high-end HTC devices. Of course, you have a lot of widgets that have been included with HTC Sense, and you can download tons of them from the HTC Hub or the Android Marketplace. They have a separate section for HTC apps. So the most common application is FriendStream, where you have updates from all your friends showing up in the widget on the main screen, which is over here. You also have apps like your People app, which you can use to quick dial numbers and customize the People app. So that's that. And of course, the music player application also has a widget, which is also on the home screen. Now HTC has also included this new widget which has 5 empty places which you can populate using your own settings, but it's kind of too small for the screen, because once you tap on it, it opens up and gives you the latest email, the latest messages, the latest music that you have. You can also get the latest images from the camera. You can also get updates from the marketplace. So that's the kind of things that you have over here, but this small little tab is a little fidgety, and you will end up pressing the app instead of the tab. But overall, a nice design from HTC for the widget, because you can have it customized and have updates showing on that. So that's good. You have your weather and time information over here. You don't have the standard HTC weather and clock, which we really like. That widget is really interesting. The standard HTC clock widget is not available on this. You can, however, get a standard weather widget for your current location, which is New Delhi, and it shows up on the main screen. So now to customize your home screen, you can just tap your finger down on the home screen. You can pull up this personalization panel, which lets you put in widgets, application shortcuts, and folders. You can also change the display settings by changing the scene, the wallpaper. You can also change lock screen shortcuts. So these are the 4 applications that you see in the lock screen next to the ring. You can customize that in this phone as well. Of course, you have sound personalizations as well, so ringtone, notification sounds, and all of that. So you get your standard HTC features. One thing that you don't get is the lock screen customization, where you can put your weather information, you can put your social stream in the lock screen. They've not allowed that in this device. I think that's anyway a little bit more power consuming in terms of processing power consuming than the 600 MHz CPU can handle. Now the notification panel is also like the HTC Sense panel. You get your latest applications over here, your notifications over here. You also have a tab of quick settings to turn on mobile networks, Bluetooth, all of that here as well. So standard notification panel from HTC Sense, and very easy to use. Overall responsiveness of the device is really fast. The screen is nice, and vivid colors are great for the size of the screen and the PPI. Very bright and vivid display. Again, scrolling left or right, all of those things will not bother you. You can also run live wallpapers in the background without it slowing down in any way whatsoever. So the device is pretty decent. The price factor somehow remains a little questionable, because 600 MHz, 10,000 rupees, we don't find it that great. So you can jump into your all applications. You have the standard page via page HTC application drawer. You can also go into your frequent applications and your downloaded applications. You can create a tab for that. You can also list these instead of going through that. Then you can scroll all the way very easily. You can also bring it via alphabet and jump to that. So that's pretty decent. Once you go into all apps, you can also hold down your finger over these and scroll through that. So your HTC features remain on this device as well. So you get a bunch of applications that are included in this device. First of all, you get Asphalt 6 Adrenaline, which is a game which is given for free. Angry Birds we downloaded, but you get apps like Bollywood Hangama. You also get an FM radio on the device, so you can plug in your headphones and get the FM radio working. You have the HTC Hub for getting HTC applications syncing with HTC Sync. You have HTC Likes, so recommendations from HTC as well. NDTV Cricket is pre-installed. Pro Cricket is pre-installed. You get the Savan Music application, which is pre-installed. You also get Numero Uno, a usage monitor for data as well as battery life. So these things are pre-installed, and we are overall happy with the set of applications that have been included with the device. When you talk about the camera is a decent 3.2 megapixel camera, and you'll be able to get basic shots with this. Not a great camera if you ask us. It's not tap to focus, it's not autofocus, it's a straight 3.2 megapixel fixed focus camera, and images are okay, and you can use it in an emergency, but you'll need to have a lot of lighting. Of course, you can switch to the video camera and you get up to 480p video recording. That's over here, that's the highest setting, and you can also customize your settings from going into the settings panel of video as well as images. So you get image resolution, 3 megapixels is the maximum. You can set your ISO settings, geotagging, grid lines, all of that. You of course have some effects as well, which are over here. Not all the effects from the standard HTC camera application, but you have some of them which the processor can handle without any issues. So basic camera, again, not something that is really special. We feel that a device like the Samsung Galaxy Y offers a bit more features for a slightly poor construction. We don't like the construction of the Galaxy Y when you compare it to this, but the spec list on the Galaxy Y somehow seems a little better. They do have a faster 835 MHz processor on the Galaxy Y, so that's obviously there. I'm just going to quickly run a benchmark, and to do that I'm just going to go into Quadrant and run a standard benchmark over here and show you what the results of that are like. You get a score of 913, which is pretty decent for a 600 MHz processor, and you can't really expect much more on this device. Score is pretty decent. You will see that the overall lagginess of the device does not exist. It's fairly responsive, even though we've been playing around it for quite some time now. I'm also going to quickly jump into the browser and open up iGAN.in as usual to show you what the internet experience on this device is like. So the first thing that you'll notice is that the device loads up the website in the mobile mode, which is a standard feature of our website. And the browser is pretty fast and responsive. You have kinetic scrolling, and overall you can see the text is crisp, and you do have some sort of lag that comes up while the page is loading, but once the page is done loading you can scroll around without any issues. I'm just going to quickly switch to the full website so that you can see how it loads up standard websites as well. Switching into landscape, I'm going to let it load up the website, so you can see that it runs all sort of content. You may have some issues with flash playing on this device because of the limitations of the processor, but you can see that it will reflow your text to fit into the screen, and that is something that HTC is really good at. They're good at reflowing the text, so you can zoom in and have your text reflow into the frame of your screen, so that you don't need to browse around and pan around to read your text. And you can see it's really crisp. Website loads up, looks good, images, everything loads up fine. No issues over there. You will have some issues with flash content, and not all of it will work on this device. Quickly jump into YouTube and play a video of the web. So we have the iPhone 4S unboxing over here, so I'm just going to quickly play that. Or tap to high quality as well. So video streaming and all of that is just brilliant. You'll have no issues, no lag in streaming videos, no issues, no stuttering of the video, and sound from this tiny little speakerphone at the back is also pretty loud. You'll hear more of treble and mids. It's not very heavy on the bass, but it's loud and clear, so that's always a plus point. When you talk about messaging on this device, we are not too happy with the keyboard and the responsiveness of the touchscreen, because of the simple fact that typing on this device is practically difficult. But the good thing about it is that you do get a autocorrect dictionary or an autocorrect keyboard, which helps you type a little better, but the responsiveness is that you'll usually press I and it'll select you, so it's kind of that. I do have pretty large fingers as well, so it is quite difficult to type on this device, I won't deny it. Possibly a keyboard replacement from the marketplace would improve that feature. We've not tried it out, but we feel that there is something wrong with the alignment or the detection of the screen, and that can possibly be fixed by going into settings and realigning the keyboard, which HTC does allow. So let's do that right now. Let's see if we can realign the keyboard and make it a little better. So let's go into language and keyboard, and let's see, touch input. So can't fix it, but we can turn on trace input. So it's like swipe, and I never tried that out. So this device does come with the trace input. So let's go into messaging now and see how that works. So let's see. So this is definitely much better. This has the swipe-like features. So it works. I think this is much better, and you get swipe in the form of HTC Trace, and it works great. It's better than typing because the typing input is not that great. So you can get used to this trace feature. You just need to go into settings and enable it. Of course, you get the landscape keyboard as well. That's thanks to the accelerometer. So every time you switch your device, it automatically switches from portrait into landscape. That's great. We tried the device for a couple of days of phone calls, and no issues with the earpiece or the microphone. No issues with the network. 3G connectivity is solid. Battery life is also very good. So we are happy with all those aspects. Voice quality, incoming, outgoing, all of those are great. You have your standard HTC dialer over here. Again, you get your phone, contacts. You can create contact groups, and your call history is also over here. Go into people, you get your full contact list. So that's a basic look at the device. I'm gonna obviously go into Angry Birds and play that quickly to give you a demonstration. Okay, let's play Asphalt since I tapped that. This is a game that is included for free with the device, and we're just gonna let it load. It takes a bit to load up, so I'm gonna come back. So don't expect graphics like you would on the Samsung Galaxy S2, but this game has been designed for the device, so you will get lower graphics and it'll run smoothly on the 600 MHz processor, but don't expect it to have all the 3D graphics and all the specs of a high-end device. Okay, I'm not going to even play this. It's quite a crappy game. It's not fun at all. Really 70s graphics on this thing. I'm just going to play Angry Birds since that has better graphics than that game, and you'll get a better look at the performance of gaming on this device. Let me lower the volume since the sound is really loud. So you'll see that there is no lag while playing games like Angry Birds, and overall responsiveness remains solid. And basic games, you can't expect this device to run high-end games because of the limitations of the processor, but you do have a nice Adreno GPU on this, so that will work in your favor. No issues with that. So there you go, guys. This was an in-depth review at the new HTC Explorer, also known as the HTC Pico. Available in the market for about 10,000 rupees. We feel this device is extremely well built and a bang for your buck. But the only issue is that it's a bit more buck and a little less bang. For 10,000 rupees, you can get a much better device in the market. You won't get this build quality and the robustness of the HTC Sense UI, but you can get other devices. You can look for alternatives, even the Samsung Galaxy Y, which is about approximately 3,000 bucks cheaper than this. A somewhat better device in terms of specifications. The only fact that it has a faster processor makes it a lot more interesting as a purchase. And again, you're limited with the HTC Sense UI and a bunch of applications that won't look great and won't perform well on this device. So the limitations are always there, but if you want a really solid device and if you want a device that will last you a long time, this is definitely that device. In terms of specs, it's a little less. We like the camera at the back. Is definitely better than the camera on the Galaxy Y. The screen is also definitely a little bit better than the screen on the Galaxy Y. You also have 512 MB of RAM and 512 MB of ROM. You do have Adreno GPU. You also have Snapdragon processor. So all those things make it a little bit interesting. The device is nice and pocketable. The build quality is exceptional. So take a decision, guys. We feel that it's a little bit overpriced. It should have been in the price of about 8,500 rupees. A bit more than the Galaxy Y because the Galaxy Y is not built to last, if you ask us. It's a great device, but it's not built as well as this device is. So definitely this device deserves to be a little bit more expensive, but $3,000 does not justify the price. So you guys take a call. This has been an in-depth review of the new HTC Explorer. For more unboxing videos, reviews and tutorials, log on to iGyan.in. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyanTV. You can do that by clicking the links on the video right now. If you have any questions or queries, you can log on to our forum. It's igyanforum.com. If you have any comments or feedback, leave those in the comment section below. Take out the time and give us a thumbs up if you like this video, guys. It'll help us go a little bit further. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter and on Google+. The links to those are at the end of this video or in the description below. For iGyan.in, this has been Bharat Nagpal reviewing the new HTC Explorer. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in another video.